Yeah. Game time. Double dribble. DS walk tall, let's go. Hey. 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 Hit play, that's a tip off. We in it from the jump. DS walk, breaking down the action. Hey, run, talk stats, talk drama, talk hustle, talk hard. From the league to the black top, you pull it apart. Late nights, hot takes, you can hear the net sing. Overtime moments.
Welcome to the Double Dribble Podcast. I'm your host, DS Walk. And on today's show, we got a lot to talk about because NFL decided to make some noise. And it kind of abbreviated me from talking about the NBA Finals, which I was going to do tomorrow. Make sure you tune in tonight, 8:30 p.m., 5:30 Pacific, 7:30 Central Time. Game 1 NBA Finals between the New York Knicks and San Antonio Spurs, live from San Antonio, Texas. You got Jalen Brunson, Wemby, Castle, Cat. It should be an awesome finals. Game 1 should be exciting. I will break down Game 1 tomorrow, so make sure you guys tune in tomorrow. But today I want to hit on some NFL because the NFL is making some noise loud and clear to let everybody know, yo, we still here. We've been a little quiet, but we still here. And basically, I want to talk about the two big trades that went down on Monday. The Eagles traded A.J. Brown to the New England Patriots for a 2028 first-round pick and a 2027 fifth-round pick. A move that has been expected for some weeks now. I mean, we heard Adam Schefter reporting this for a while during the draft that expect on this day, June 1st, which was Monday, that A.J. Brown will be traded. Now, there are a lot of mixed reactions from the Eagles players at OTAs about this trade, range from a sense of relief to now that, things going to be looking different now. But everything is in the rearview mirror. There will be no more drama. There's going to be no more questions asking about A.J. Brown and Jalen Hurts. What's the problem with the offense? Well, come A.J. Brown not getting the ball. Those questions will not be asked no more. It is over. Reaction from Jordan Malatia, Eagles player. He thinks this is more of a blank. It sounds terrible, but thank God it's over. It was a slow pain for Just. Is he in or is he out? According to the left tackle. We didn't really know, and that really wasn't our focus as a team, our team especially on offense. And you have Quentin Mitchell who comes out and say, oh, that's my big brother. I wish you nothing but the best. He helped me grow in my game and gain more confidence. So I am thankful for him, and I love him as a big brother. Fellow corner, Cooper DeJean, noted that Brown was the first to call him All-Pro Coop and push him to live up to the name, which eventually he did. Anytime you lose a great player like him, it hurts. He's a great friend of mine. He was a great teammate in our locker room. But there's a business side to this thing, so everybody did what was best for them. The Eagles were eliminated last year in the playoffs by the San Francisco 49ers following a down regular season offensively, which they tied for first in 3-and-out drives, 50, and 24th in total offense, 311 yards per game. They have been busy learning a brand new system under offensive coordinator Sean Mannion in an effort to get back on track. The players now officially know the challenge will be taken on without Brown. Yes, we can move on now, Matilda said. I think most of us that have been here for the last 6 weeks, we have moved on just from we have enough to worry about. A.J. Brown was a distraction in Philadelphia, in a good way and a bad way. And let me break it down to you. Let's start with the bad way. The bad way was the way he acted on the sidelines, reading the book, pouting, wanting the football. When he's in the game, wasn't getting the ball. He had numerous of mismatches. Jalen Hurts couldn't give him the ball. And we seen the frustration from A.J. Brown not getting the ball, being unhappy. It kind of damaged his relationship with Jalen Brown. Now, I know both of them won't tell you that. They won't say it, but as far as the dynamic of quarterback and receiver, that relationship with that. Now, they said that, hey, A.J. Brown said, I love him. That's my close friend, but we grew apart. To a certain extent, I do agree they grew apart because of what's going on, what happened on the field. I think the Philadelphia Eagles didn't make this any better by not designing plays to get him the ball earlier in the game so he gets going. And maybe he blamed that on Jalen Hurts. I don't know. But it was a distraction. That offense was not moving. And I get it. A.J. Brown was the man. He was the top offensive weapon in Philadelphia until they signed Saquon Barkley. And Saquon Barkley is an all-world football player, all-world running back, the best running back in football. He is one of one. He is that great. And when you get a great player like Saquon Barkley, yes, your offense is going to look different. The scheme is going to be different because now you're going to be run heavy. A.J. Brown is a guy where he doesn't want to take a backseat to nobody. And you've seen that. And when he once came to Philadelphia, you've seen how he was playing. You've seen how Jalen Hurts was getting the ball at all costs. Then they got Saquon Barkley. Then they want to run the Super Bowl. Now A.J. Brown played a big part of that. But the following season, after that, things went downhill. Let's also say that, coaching changes. No, they lost the offensive coordinator. He became a head coach in the Indianapolis Colts. They brought in his replacement. It just didn't work. The offense looked terrible. It just wasn't A.J. Brown was looking bad. Barker was looking bad. Hurst was looking bad. The offensive line was looking bad. The only production he was consistently getting was on the tight end position. So it was a lot of wrong that was going on in our offense last year. And it just kind of spoiled over to the field and off the field. Now, I don't think A.J. Brown is a bad teammate. No, I don't believe that. I mean, guys in the Eagles locker room, you heard two of them say he's like a big brother. He was there for them. He guided them. And, yeah, the situation turned to a negative, but A.J. Brown is not a bad teammate. Let's go ahead. Let's kill that. No, he's not a bad teammate. He was just a guy who was frustrated that he was not getting the ball. He didn't like the direction the offense was going. He voices displeasure in the media because he was hoping that the team would take a look at the offense and his teammates will listen to him and let's get things back on track, get things better. Didn't happen. I think in a perfect world, A.J. Brown would love to stay in Philadelphia and try to be part of this team and be part of this offense. Let everybody know that last year was a fluke. I mean, I seen reports that from teammates allegedly that A.J. Brown has something to prove because people thought that he lost a step. That's ridiculous. A.J. Brown did not lose a step. So now he's in New England. And he still got that same chip on the shoulder. He has a lot to prove because, yes, the way the season ended for him and the Eagles last year, he doesn't want that to define him as a player and as a person. So there's going to be a big year for A.J. Brown. This should be a big bounce back year for A.J. Brown in the league. He has a young quarterback in May. He's playing for the coach that he loved, Mike Vrabel. He's playing for the team that he rooted for since he was a kid in New England Patriots. They're coming off a Super Bowl appearance. They feel that A.J. Brown is the missing piece for this team to win a Super Bowl. And they should be one of the top Super Bowl favorites coming out of the AFC. And New England Patriots should have a great season this year. And A.J. Brown should put us with good numbers. For the Eagles, it's all about starting all over again offense. It's about getting continuity back. You've seen in the draft, they drafted some receivers. They drafted a lineman out of USC. They made some trades. I think they got Hollywood Brown. They signed in free agency. So this passing game is going to be done by committee, led by Devontae Smith. This receiving corps does not legit have a number one. You can technically, Devontae Smith is the number one receiver on this team because A.J. Brown is not there anymore. But they don't have a true number one receiver. When we think of a true number one receiver, we think of a guy who's about like 6'2", 6'3", about 210, 20 pounds, big and strong, who can take contact, who can break away, who can make plays that nobody else can make. Devontae Smith is a really good receiver, and he got paid. And I do believe that he's going to show up and show out, but this is going to be done by committee. So if you're an Eagles fan, pump the brakes, because you might get off to a slow start, because it's going to take some time for Jalen Hurts to click with all these new receivers that he has, and it's going to take time for these new receivers to understand the route they're going to be running, because this is going to be a brand new offense. They got a brand new coordinator. Blocking scheme is going to be different. So as I say all this, I do expect the Eagles to win the NFC, and I do expect the Eagles to be one of the top teams in the NFL, because I do believe at some point between mid or late in the season, this offense is going to click, and it's going to run like a good run oil machine. And I do expect the Eagles to be challenging for to play in the Super Bowl against this team, who also out of nowhere was so persistent, was so determined, and refused to take no for an answer to get the guy they want. And even though this guy was told, the team has told everybody that this guy is not available, they got him in. And that is Myles Garrett. Myles Garrett was traded to the Los Angeles Rams. The Cleveland Browns have agreed to trade Myles Garrett to the Rams in exchange for the kicker that got Cleveland to say, okay, defensive end, Jerry Verse, a 2027 first-round pick, a 2020 second-round pick, and a 2029 third-round pick. Garrett submitted his name both in Browns and NFL history over 9 seasons in Cleveland after being drafted number 1 overall pick in the 2017 draft, which had Patrick Mahomes in there. Yeah. And Lamar Jackson. Garrett played in 134 games. He recorded 412 career tackles, 125.5 sacks, 23 forced fumbles, and 6 fumble recoveries. He is the Browns' franchise leader in career sacks. He set the NFL season sack record last season with 23. He became the first player in the NFL history since 1982 to record at least 12 sacks in 6 consecutive seasons from 2020 to 2025, and is the only player to record at least 10 sacks each of the past 8 seasons from 2018 to 2025. Garrett also has been named the AP All-Pro to the Pro Bowl 7 times and is the reigning defending NFL Defensive Player of the Year, a 2-time winner after previously earning the award following the 2023 season. The Cleveland Browns came out and said that we have long taken the stance that our goal was for Myles Garrett to be a one-helmet player for his entire career. That came from Andrew Berry in the statement. After rewriting the record books and representing our organization with excellence, we were sincere in that desire as we entered the offseason and did not envision a world where Myles was not a Cleveland Brown. He also went on to say that when the Rams first approached them about the possibility of trading Myles, we remain convicted in their position of he is not available. However, as discussion intensified, we were stuck at a legitimate crossroads. Do we hold on to a truly generational player who has become the identity of our team, or do we make the difficult decision that we think is best for the organization over the long run? In that framework, The decision became clear, although our emotions were muddled. We, and more importantly, our fans, have grown up with Miles and has an enormous source of pride for our team. However, as we embark on a new era of Browns football with a young core and replenish, excuse me, asset base, we feel this move was important to our transition. The biggest reason why they made this deal because Jared Verse, a player from the Ram, young player, age 25. He 2 Pro Bowls and Defensive Rookie of the Year award under his belt was the reason why this trade went through. Trust me when I tell you, you could offer the Cleveland Browns 3 or 4 first round picks, any combination of a second and a third after that. They don't do this deal. The Cleveland Browns knew that it would take a certain player on the Rams team on the defensive side of the ball to get this deal done. They got their guy. They waited out to get their guy. And I'm quite sure that the Rams did not want to give up Jared Verse in this deal because they probably had a vision of pairing Myles Garrett, Jared Verse, bookends, getting the quarterback, have a meeting, have a drink. Boom. They had to give him up. This trade, I can honestly sit here and say, is a win-win for both teams. The Cleveland fan base is the one who loses out. The Ram fan base is a big win. Man, let me break it down. I'm going to start with the other fan base before I get to the team. The reason why the Cleveland Browns fan base loses out because they lose one of their greatest players of all time. Myles Garrett has and will go down as probably, I want to say, under Jim Brown or Bernie Kosar, who's beloved in Cleveland. He will go down as one of the top fan favorite players in the Cleveland Brown history. The fans loses in this situation for Cleveland because they lose the one guy that they all came out to see and perform. They lose a guy who thick and thin wore that Cleveland Browns uniform day in, day out, every Sunday. Regardless of the team record, he wore that uniform with pride. He was proud to be a Cleveland Browns. He wanted to see this team to be in the Super Bowl. He wanted to lead this team to a Super Bowl. He wanted what's best for the city, for the fans. Myles Garrett did not start making noise about he wanted to be traded until, I want to say, year 8, where he questioned the front office and the direction they were going because he felt that they weren't committed to winning. And Myles Garrett did not want to be in a rebuild situation. He wanted to win, but he wanted to win in Cleveland. And the first sign of him starting getting frustrated was he asked for a trade. And he was denied that trade because Andrew Berry came out and said, I am never trading Myles Garrett. So instead of continuing his bark of being traded, Andrew Berry gave him a brand new deal, $40 million a year, guaranteed. They kept him quiet. They kept him quiet because they didn't want to lose Myles Garrett. Because they know he's a generational talent. They know that they had to keep him happy. And they had to put a plan together to get the player on the other side of the ball to keep him happy. Because they know the money they pay him is short term. Because he always come back to the final season, what we doing here? What are you doing? It'd be a whole new problem. It would have been, you gave me all this money. Because you say you committed to winning and you committed to me, so you gave me all this money. And we're not winning. Cleveland fans may lose because they lose their all-time generational player. It kind of goes on to me when the Detroit Lions had Barry Sanders, they had Calvin Johnson, they had Matthew Stafford. Now, what I mean is that Myles Garrett ain't quit and then retire and walk away. No, he ain't do that. What I mean is that, like the Lions, they had 3 generation talented players. Two of them played together. The other one didn't. And the team just couldn't put the right pieces around them to elevate this team and actually elevate him, because if you look at it, the man played in Cleveland. The world wasn't seeing Myles Garrett play. They were seeing Myles Garrett on highlights on SportsCenter or on CBS, or they hear CBS analysts talk about him. Everybody knew who Myles Garrett was, but the one thing we can say about Myles Garrett, that he wasn't playing a meaningful football game because his team was losing most of the time. He was there. Nobody didn't care, except for those fans in Cleveland or anybody who's a fan of the Cleveland Browns. They care. So now Browns fans, they lost their greatest franchise player, and now they will have to go into this season knowing that the one bright spot that they all pay to see won't be there. Now, Jared Verse is a good young football. Now, I don't want to put all that expectation on him as far as I don't think he's going to give you that same production that Myles Garrett gave the Cleveland Browns. He's a great young player. He's going to make plays. He will get to the quarterback. He's the type of player like Myles Garrett where you can build your defense around him. And I think with the young talent they have on defense that showed up last year, along with the veteran Denzel Ward, I do expect the Cleveland Brown defense to be top 5, top 10 again. Now, they will take a hit on the sacks and the quarterback hits because Myles Garrett was unbelievable doing that and force a fumble. Yes, the numbers will drop, but this will also be good for the other players on defense because now they will have to raise their game and showcase what they can do. But also, again, this is another rebuild situation. So are they going to win a lot of ball games? No. They got a lot of draft assets to build this team. And the one thing that Cleveland Browns need to do is figure out who's going to be their starting quarterback this season. But they also got to figure out their long-term view of that position. Is it going to be Shedeur Sanders? Is it going to be Deshaun Watson? Or is it going to be someone in next year's draft? So this trade for the Cleveland Browns is a win. You get draft assets. You get 2 first-round picks next year. You continue to add on to this team. You continue to add more players at the skill up position or in the trenches. But you get to build this team up. So by the time this team is ready to compete and win, they'll be playing a brand new stadium down in Brooks Park. Now, for the Rams side of things, this is a home run because they have the guy they were pursuing and wanted. They did not give up of pursuing Myles Garrett. If you're a Rams fan, you love this. You love this because, number one, you get the best defensive player in football. You get a guy where now the Seahawks, the Niners, the Cardinals, and all those other teams in the NFC will officially now have to game plan their scheme against Myles Garrett. Because Myles Garrett changed the dynamic on defense. when he played. Even when he was in Cleveland. And I just said nobody didn't really watch him play. Teams had the game plan against Myles Garrett. They had to change their offensive philosophy when they played against the Cleveland Browns and Myles Garrett. Now he's with the Rams. Teams think they had an advantage doing this against like a jet reverse. That went out the door. But now Myles Garrett's over there. Everything changed. The Rams have a 3-down player. They got a guy who can play the run. They got a guy who can get to the quarterback. They got a guy who can force turnovers. They got a guy who's a leader. They got a difference maker. They got a generational talent on the line. They got Trent McDuffie. That was the first trade they did beginning to, I want to say, free agency started. Yeah. They got him, and they paid him. So this Ram defense that was good last year with the young player, now you added 2 guys. You added 2 big-time playmakers. Great. And they're going to cause a problem. No more of depending on Matthew Stafford to throw for 400 yards and 5 touchdowns or 300 yards and 4 touchdown winning session when you ball game. And don't get me wrong, Matthew Stafford going to be Matthew Stafford. He's going to sling that ball everywhere. And he's going to have some big numbers passing football. But now he has some help on the defensive side of the ball where, you know what? The defense is going to win these games. Myles Garrett going to win these games. It's kind of just like when Aaron Donald was there. Aaron Donald won football games during that Super Bowl run for the Rams. Now, Super Bowl run, where the Super Bowl is going to be at this coming season, SoFi Stadium. We play out SoFi Stadium, Los Angeles Rams. Where they won their first Super Bowl, and their backyard in SoFi in their home stadium. They got a guy who's going to win ball games for you on the defensive side of football. Why? Because he's unblockable. You can't stop him. And the simple fact now, he is motivated more than ever because now he's going to be playing in prime time. He's going to be able to show everybody what he can do. I mean, I just read you that this man in his career, 125.5 sacks. Nobody in the NFC has ever seen anybody like Myles Garrett. He's been playing in the AFC. This is going to be really bad for the offensive line of the visiting team. Myles Garrett is going to dominate this year on the defensive side of the ball. And I would not be surprised if he wins defensive play for the 3rd time. I would not be surprised if he breaks his old sack record from last season, 23. I would not be surprised if he gets 25 this year. Myles Garrett's that good. And he's motivated. Because now he's been playing a meaningful game. Now he knows that he's going to be on the team that's a Super Bowl contender. Now he knows that he has opportunity to play for a Super Bowl. So his impact on the Rams, on this defense, is going to be huge. He's going to make every player on that defensive line and not linebacker in the secondary that much better. Trent McDuffie was a Pro Bowl and Super Bowl champion. Just imagine how good his play going to be. You know that he got Myles Garrett on that defensive line making plays and causing it happen. I don't know who the defense end are going to be on the opposite side of Myles Garrett, but think about all the quarterback hits and sacks he's going to get because Myles Garrett, team's going to dedicate 3 players to him. That's going to be that other player playing one-on-one. And he should be able to win those matchups. If you're the Byzantine quarterback, you might want to tell your head coach or your offensive coordinator that, yo, quit passing. None of these 3-step drop backs, Myles Garrett going to be right there in your face. And for Myles Garrett, this is the opportunity. And for the Rams, a 2-year window to win the Super Bowl for Matthew Stafford. That's why I'm saying a 2-year window, because we don't know Matthew Stafford. We anticipate him playing this season and next season. That's probably going to be it for him. But think about for a guy like a young quarterback like Ty Simpson, who, when he gets the reins to be the starting quarterback, think about a Myles Garrett who's going to help that young man out because he's going to have a dominant piece on that defensive end, on that defensive side of the football, who's going to alleviate some of those growing pains from him by dominating, taking over games and winning games. In which by the time Ty Simpson starts, Ty Simpson won't have all that pressure to win the football game. Why? Because you got Myles Garrett over there, and Myles Garrett will do that. Trent McDuffie's over there. Trent McDuffie is going to do that for you. The only question that I have for the Rams is this. Are you done? Or are there more moves to make? Because Les Snead, who's been dubbed the best GM in football, I'm quite sure that he had a few tricks up his sleeve. Now, we do know it came out that Puka wants a new deal. He's looking for a contract extension. He's done with rehab. I'm happy for him. He is clean. It's going to be a long journey for him. He wants a contract extension. I won't give it to him yet. I'd rather him come out and play hungry and play like he wanted. I would have gave it to him earlier, but all the off the field issues he was having, I can't do that. And I'm quite sure Les Snead sees that. He's going to get his money. I have to prove it. You're Devontae Adams. You now have a legit chance to win a Super Bowl. This is the one piece, the one thing in your career that's missing for your resume. And if you Matthew Stafford, the offense won't have to carry or do the heavy pushing or doing the heavy load for these next 2 seasons. And Ty Simpson, like I said, when it's time for you to take over the reign and lead this team, you won't have to do as much. Now, I do expect Les Snead to make some more moves down the road. But I want to give a shout out to Les Snead because this man did not take no points. This man was determined to get Myles Garrett. This man wanted Myles Garrett. This man kept calling, checking in every time. And he kept improving the deal until this deal where Cleveland was like, you know what? God, let's make this deal. Les Snead don't care about these draft picks. He cares about winning Super Bowl. He cares about winning. Now, granted, every team cares about first-round draft picks. They want to develop their talent. They want to develop their player. They want to make sure that, those first-round picks are guaranteed starters. But Les Snead operates in a different mindset. See, he don't got time for development now. For him, it's about winning the Super Bowl and nothing else. I wish a lot of GMs would think like that. I wish a lot of GMs wouldn't care about their first round picks or their draft picks, especially if you got a team that is on the verge of winning a Super Bowl, or you had a team that came close to getting to the Super Bowl, and you need that one difference maker on your team that's going to take you over the top and get you in that Super Bowl and to win it. Les Snead did that. Les Snead is not scared to make those type of deals. This deal is so huge that it has former players who just retired, Aaron Donald, flirting with the idea of coming back and playing with Myles Garrett. We talk about Aaron Donald, one of the greatest defensive tackles of all time, who said himself, if the Rams would have landed Michael Parsons, that would have had me thinking. a coming out of retirement player. So you think when Miles Garrett coming to the Rams, got that man thinking real hard. Should I come out of retirement? Should I? For this run for these next 2 years, should I come out here and do this? Would it be worth it? I wouldn't be surprised if he did come out. Because if it was me, I would come out of retirement because it'd be damn worth it. We talking about Myles Garrett here. We talking playing one of the greatest generational defensive players ever. We talking about Myles Garrett is on the Mount Rushmore of Lawrence Taylor, Reggie White, Deion Sanders, Aaron Donald, Bruce Smith, Ray Lewis, Dick Buckus, you name them. Name all the great defensive players who ever played football. Myles Garrett is on that list and probably higher. This trade was worth it. And you can say that this trade right here kind of made the Rams not only the favorites doing their division, because they overtook Seattle on that one, but the favorites to win the Super Bowl to represent the NFC.
Yeah.
It was a big-time move by a big-time GM. These two trades were big-time moves made by two general managers. Did not want to trade A.J. Brown, but he knew he had to because he had to save his locker room. On any given time, Howie Roseman will probably fix this situation. But it was too far gone. And he had to do this move. He had to do this deal. The Cleveland Browns didn't have to do this deal. Because when you hear Brad Holmes of the Detroit Lions and say, yeah, he wasn't available, wasn't available. And that's true. He wasn't available. But the difference between Les Snead, Brad Holmes, and any other GM who's pursuing Myles Garrett was that Les Snead was persistent. He didn't give up. He won his guy. He kept checking in. He kept making that deal better to make sure that he landed Myles Garrett because he know his team has the best opportunity to win the Super Bowl this year and next year. So kudos to the Rams, kudos to the Browns, to the Eagles, and to the Patriots. I expect three of those teams to make some noise. And I expect Cleveland to continue their rebuild, dedicate this season and next season to the young players to get better. And for Jared Verse, who's looking for a new contract, he'll get paid. He'll get paid. He'll get his money. And Jared Verse gonna get the same Myles Garrett treatment from Andrew Berry. He will not be available. But if you want him, all you gotta do is stay persistent, like Les Snead did.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, this has been DL Walt's Dribble Podcast. Thank you for watching. Thank you for tuning in. Remember, like, subscribe, and share my show. And also, don't forget, Game 1 of the NBA Finals, Knicks and Spurs at 8:30, depending on where you live. West Coast 5:30 Central Time, 7:30. It should be a good Game 1. Actually, I got the Knicks winning the final. I kind of think this is their year. Could be wrong because they always convert back to being who we thought they were. But I'm not. I think this might be the next year. So make sure you guys tune in. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow to recap Game 1. I'm out. Peace.
Whole world in his hands. He just draw up plays. We the ones with the plans. This that double dribble pocket. Yes, walk got the fans talking. From the baseline up to the rafters. Every play we chapter. This that double dribble pocket. Let the crowd roar. Yes, walk keep the score on the scoreboard. If you love that talk, better tap in. When he drop that show, we back in. Back in.